Hello again. There seems to be something about young people vanishing abroad which has the ability to capture the British public's imagination and keep them entertained for weeks, or indeed years. Think Madeleine McCann. Such a case is the disappearance of an English teenager on the island of Tenerife. The story as we have received it is an odd one, to be sure. The young man, called Jay Slater, which sounds like a character from the East Enders soap opera, apparently set out to walk back to the place where he was staying on holiday and then became lost in a wild and rugged area. His mobile telephone died and he was without food and water. This was a few days ago and nothing has since been seen or heard of him. It didn't take long, though, for the affair to become slightly mysterious. His best friend, a young woman called Lucy Law, was involved in setting up a GoFundMe page, which has so far raised £30,000 for unknown purposes. She is so anxious not to be identified that when she was interviewed on television, she insisted that only the back of her head could be shown, which seemed a bit odd. The internet is now awash with rumours about drug deals, violent assaults, which allegedly involved this same young man last year, and various inconsistencies in the stories being told about the circumstances of the vanishing of the young man. The police in Tenerife have scaled down the search somewhat and declined assistance from the British police. It does seem a little odd that a search for a missing person should be launched within an hour or two of a young man last being seen and spoken to. Usually the police wait at least a few days before taking this kind of thing seriously, especially when the person concerned is a young man who spent the night dancing at a discotheque. I dare say that there is more to all this than meets the eye. But it's the way in which the business has become so talked about on the internet which fascinates me. Jay Slater has been trending on Twitter for days now, and every weird person in the country seems eager to add his or her two penneth and suggest ever stranger ways of finding the missing youth. Then too, why on earth people send £30,000 to a fundraising effort by the friend who first reported him missing? This is a very modern sort of thing, to set up a GoFundMe page in this way, but there is usually at least some reason given for needing the money. In this case, there is just a large sum accumulating there and able to be drawn out, but for what purpose is anybody's guess. The other interesting thing is that nobody really seems to be taking this disappearance too seriously, in the sense that there doesn't seem to be any genuine anxiety over the youth or fear that he may be lying helpless and dying of thirst. I've seen mention of the Shannon Matthews case on Twitter, the suggestion being that this is all some elaborate ruse, but I mean, it's anybody's guess whether or not that is actually the case. I rather think that we'll see some sort of resolution in the next few days if there is anything, should we say, not quite kosher about this. I seriously doubt if two young people would be able to maintain the pretense longer than a week at the most.